Hi everybody, it's Lloyd coming at you from home today, not on the boat. But I wanted to just give you a little introduction into this next video that you're going to be watching here in a minute if you stay with me. And I wanted to let you know that I've decided to go ahead and try and do a video at least once a month and put it on my YouTube channel. And on this video, I'm gonna send out a link to everyone's email address so that you can click on that link and view the video. In future videos that I post on my channel, I'm not going to send out that email. So in order for you to watch those videos, you'll need to subscribe to my channel. And if you look below the screen that you're looking at now, you'll see a subscribe button. And so if you'll subscribe to the channel, you'll get notified of those upcoming videos. Or you can just pull up YouTube again and check my channel to see if there's any new videos if you haven't been notified. But I thought that it might be interesting for you to monitor the progress that I make on the boat and see some of the things that I'm doing and how I'm doing them. So, and in addition to subscribing to the video or to the channel, you can also comment at the bottom. So I welcome any constructive comments or suggestions that you might have about the projects that I'm working on. And believe me, I'm kind of flying blind here on many of these projects. So any constructive help that I could get from any of you would be greatly appreciated. So anyway, take a look at this video. Hope you enjoy it, and we'll check in with you the next video, which as I said, should come out in about a month, maybe somewhere around 2 to 3 weeks. Just never know what kind of content I'm going to have. So anyway, enjoy the video. Hope you're all well and happy, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Good morning, everybody. After watching the last video that I put out about my boat, I realized that I looked very depressed because I had shot that video at the end of the day, and I think it would be much wiser for me to shoot the videos from now on at the beginning of the day before the frustration and agony sets in. But after watching that first video, it looked like I was about ready to kill myself. And sometimes I feel like that, but not this morning. I feel a little victorious, and yet I haven't even won the battle yet. But I'll tell you all about it. So this is the new fuel pump. And I'll tell you a little background on the fuel pump on this boat. When I first walked on this boat, it had an incredible stench of gas, and so the surveyor said, "You're going to need a new fuel pump. You're going to need a new carburetor. You're going to need a new intake manifold, and etc., etc." As it turns out, and I may have mentioned this in the last video, I ended up rebuilding the fuel pump, rebuilding the carburetor, and rebuilding or refurbishing the manifold. And all of that worked very well with the exception of the fuel pump. So I pulled it off the first time, I rebuilt it, I put it back on, and it was still leaking. And then I decided I would take it off one more time and see if I could discover the leak. And lo and behold, on the old carburetor, which I don't have with me or I'd show you, but on the old carburetor there was a port right here for a different engine purpose. And the plug that screwed in there was loose. And I'm like, aha, I found my problem. It's not going to leak anymore. So I put some thread sealer on the plug and screwed it back in nice and snug, put the fuel pump back on, and lo and behold, it leaked again. So after a lot of consultation with the wonderful people at Moyer Marine that provide parts for this motor, I decided eventually to just replace the fuel pump. And the reason that I did that is that I felt like with a new carburetor, and the silver part that you see here is a newly manufactured CAD/CAM design and manufactured part. The old fuel pump looked just like the bottom of this one, that kind of an icky brown color. There was something with that fuel pump that was causing it to leak. So I decided I'm going to just be done with this whole thing and buy a new fuel pump at a fairly hefty price. It was about $400. So anyway, so here it is, the brand new fuel pump. I've got the new gasket on. I think I'm going to swap out this swing arm that holds the bowl in place. I think I'm going to swap that out with the old one because I don't like the screw on the bottom here. But anyway, that's today's project, is to install the new fuel pump. And it is quite a task to take these on and off, and I'll show you and try and give you a little idea why. So here is the front of the motor. That's that little window that I showed you before back there, by the way. And here's the carburetor down here, and the fuel line coming from the fuel filter. All of these lines, all of these clamps are brand new, by the way. So down here, you can't see the end of my fingers, nor can I, but that is where the fuel pump attaches. So there is, so I have to basically install it without being able to see what I'm doing. And I have to do it by feel. And of course, in order to do that, I'm bent over the engine for usually about 2 hours. So by the time I'm finished, I just about can't walk. But it is quite a strenuous job, and I am hoping and praying that when I put it on this time that it won't leak, and that it was in fact the fuel pump that was the problem. Otherwise, I just made a big old $400 mistake. So anyway, I'll tune back in with you in a couple hours, and I'll get that fuel pump on, and we'll try and start the motor and see if we have success. So talk to you in a little bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the moment of truth has arrived. I probably had the easiest time getting the new fuel pump on out of any of the now 4 times that I've taken the fuel pump off and put it back on. But you can see it way back there. And it was not easy to put on, but it went in easier this time than it ever has. So just to give you an idea about the fuel system, you can see back there the fuel water separator. So the fuel comes in from the gas tank into that fuel water separator, comes out of that hose, goes down into the fuel pump here, and then goes through the fuel pump into the carburetor, or excuse me, out of the fuel pump on the other side, up through this fuel filter, down this line, and into the carburetor. So that is the fuel system on this boat. This is the choke cable here. So this is the choke. This is the throttle down here. So I think we're ready to give her a try and see what we have. So we're going to come over here, we're going to turn on the battery. Battery 1 is the start battery. Battery 2 is the house battery. So you start it with 1, then afterwards you go to 2 to charge both batteries. So we're going to go to 1. We're going to turn on the blower, which evacuates supposedly any fuel fumes that might ignite when you try and start the motor. So here we go, let's go. Okay, full choke. Throttle set to just slightly open. And start. And start. Wow, started right up. Choke in. Give her a little more gas. We have it set at about 2,500 RPM. First thing you do after you start the motor is look out the stern and make sure you have exhaust gases and water exiting. That means that cooling water is circulating through the motor. It's belching. All right, let's go check down below, see what we have. I don't smell any fuel. And there's no residual fuel coming out of the fuel pump. Sounds good. And I think we're ready to take her out in the water and give her a sea trial, but I have to do that with Kathy because I'm not proficient enough yet at docking this baby. But I'll eventually get there to where I can take it out by myself. So that is a wrap. That's a thumbs up and a completed, finished project. Thank goodness. Bye now. Well, good morning, boys and girls. It's Lloyd reporting from the Lima Charlie on Mission Bay, San Diego. Good morning. Just wanted to give you a little preview of today's project. I'm going to be sanding some of these ugly fill spots where I filled some nicks and holes and all that kind of stuff. And my lovely wife bought me for my birthday a DeWalt multi-tool, and this thing is the cat's meow if I've ever seen it. If you don't have one, then you need to put that on your wish list to get one. I have yet to use it, and yet I'm still saying that, and the reason for that is because I've watched plenty of videos of this in action, and I couldn't wait to get one. I was going to buy one for myself, but like I said, Kathy stepped up and bought this for me for my birthday, and I love her more for it. But we're getting ready to put this to use on these on this fiberglass, and we're going to see what happens. So let's give it a try on. One thing I will say about the filler that I used, it's an epoxy filler from a company called Total Boat, and they say that it's easily sandable, and that is a bunch of hockey, because It is not. It does not come off easy at all, but when I read that it was easily sandable, I laid it on kind of thick, and boy do I regret having done that. But anyway, my first run with my multi-tool, I'm real happy with it so far, and let's continue on and see how this cleans up. So I've used this now on some of that fiberglass work, and I've learned a couple of things about it. Number one is it has various speeds. I thought you had to set the speed, but the speed is actually controlled by the amount you pull the button, and like that. And if you want to replace a piece of worn out sandpaper, it's a hook and loop type Velcro thing. You pull this off, and then you carefully place the replacement, press it on, give it a little buzz. That works it in to the hook, and you're ready to go again. But so far, I'm kind of pleased with the way things are looking. Making plenty of dust. Long way to go. But that's where I want to get to, is the way that the lid to this cockpit locker looks. Hi everybody. I thought I'd check you in on, or let you check in on a project that I'm involved in now that I have the fuel pump in and working. I've shifted over to moving the refrigerator, which is over here temporarily on some blocks on the settee. Beautiful new refrigerator that I dented twice getting into the boat, because it was going through this very narrow companionway. But that's life. So anyway, what I've done so far is I have taken this old burner, alcohol burning stove, I guess it is, out, and that's going to be either probably given away. I'm sure somebody's going to be interested in it. And then what I've done over here is, if you'll recall from a previous video, I had said this is where the refrigerator is going to be relocated to. And so what I have done so far, I have taken my wonderful multi-tool, which is just a gift. I mean, well, it was literally a gift, but I mean, that thing works so good. You can see the very straight line that I cut here in the plywood bulkhead. And inside here, I've taken the drawers out and the door off. And what you're looking at inside there to the right-hand side of this opening is the ice box. And it's quite large. So it goes from here all the way over to the bulkhead, and then goes all the way aft, probably 4 feet, 3.5, 4 feet. And so I'm either going to cut the corner of it out so that I can put the refrigerator in here, or I'm going to remove the whole thing. My preference would be to remove the whole thing, but it would involve cutting it up in pieces, and I don't know what the interior of that icebox is made from. But that's what they do on sailboats, is rather than put a refrigerator in, they put a icebox in, and I'll show you what it looks like here if I can move some of this crap out of the way. So that's what it looks like on the inside. And literally you put a block of ice in there, or a couple of blocks of ice, and you go on your cruise, and when you pull into the next port, you put another block of ice or two in there. And then your food and other stuff that has to be refrigerated. And I know that I will never do that, so that's why I bought a refrigerator, and I'm gonna have that wired up in here as soon as I can get it put in. Because of the height of the refrigerator, this countertop, which of course will be replaced because it's icky yellow, this countertop is going to have to be elevated. Now, if you'll look back inside the hole here, you'll see the bottom is the bottom of the boat. That's the hull. So it is not level. So I'm going to have to build a stand or a platform that can attach via fiberglass, which is the only way to attach anything on the hull of a boat, because you can't drill any holes, or you don't want to. It isn't wise to. But anyway, so once I get the platform built in there and get it fiberglass in place, I'll be able to move the refrigerator over here. And stay tuned, and I'll let you know whether or not we have to just remove the corner of the ice box, or I get to remove the whole thing and make room for more storage. So lots of work yet to be done. I'm going to finish cutting out this piece of plywood here, take all this out, it's garbage, and I'll touch base with you later. All right, I'm back with you, and this is what we have. I cut out a little cross-section of the ice box, and what you're looking at here is the drain for it that used to go down here into the bilge. But it looks like the foam here is a construction foam, which I'm sure is quite effective. I think it's the same kind of foam that I used at one time building my airplanes to make a mold out of. As far as the material that the icebox is made out of, here it is. It is fiberglass. That's all it is just fiberglass, laid up fiberglass, and then finished on the inside, and then covered in the foam. So I was kind of expecting metal. I thought maybe the icebox would be metal and then covered, but you know, to conduct more, you know, keep the ice from melting better than fiberglass, but I'm not sure about that. But anyway, everything looks pretty positive for taking this entire thing out of here. You can see the rest of the hole here and how far this thing is. And I had estimated it was like 3.5 feet deep, and it's not. It's more like 2.5 to 3, something like that. So anyway, that's what we're dealing with here. So I have the, let me get up here. I have the area cut out for the fridge, and I think to start with, what I'm going to do is just cut out enough of the ice box to where I can put that platform in there and move the refrigerator, and then I'll deal with the rest of the ice box later on after the haul out. But the jobs that I'm doing now, this relocating the refrigerator, as well as cutting out the bottom of this settee over here, which is wood, so that the guys down at Driscoll, the haul out place, can access the through hull fitting and ball valve that's located underneath the counter here. So anyway, that's what we got, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. This is Ruben, who cleans my boat once a month, scrubs the hull. Morning, Ruben. Got you on camera today.
Good. Thank you. How are you?
Doing good.
Good.
Am I next?
Next week.
Next week. Okay. Very good.